Hi guys, I've just got some time now when I can give you a quick update on One Book July. It's Friday night, not the weekend when I normally do my update, but I'm swamped and this was the opportunity that arose. So, first thing straight away this week, I am so much happier. I do not have that tiny stupid little notebook trying to fit everything into it. This was the right decision. Why I didn't do this all along, I do not know. Everything is going in here. This is still being used a little bit, more like an old school diary rather than a planner. So when I started teaching, I have diary, things go in the diary, just recorded. If I go to this week, it doesn't look a lot different than what it did last week. It looks pretty much the same as it did on Sunday. I mean, I did start doing some stuff along here, doing some to-dos. I kind of gave up. I started writing a list, got distracted, never finished it. I've not done any tracking along the bottom, but I am referring to it every day. So, in one sense, excellent, because I am using it, but in another sense, it's not pointless. It's just not being used in the way that I originally intended to. I think part of that is maybe the lack of stickers and the fact that I'm reticent to put stickers into it because it will bulk out. I mean, it's already pretty chunky. It's going to get even chunkier if you put stickers in it. So I don't want to do that. So I think for future planning and, for reference and going around to work and stuff, it is great. But I think as a planner, a pretty planner, for me to use regularly, personally, I don't think it's going to get a lot of use. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to carry it around next week. So, where I started out with 2 books for One Book July, part of me is now referring back to using 1 book for One Book July. I didn't think that was possible. But everything has been going into my bullet journal, which I suppose is a good thing. It's nice, it's lovely, it's a good size. I've got in here a timeline for every day, like I had for my passion planner, so that's making me feel happy. I've got spaces to record notes, I've got spaces for tracking, I'm doing my scripture writing in there. Everything's going in here. The downside with that, as some of you may have noticed from Instagram earlier in the week, is that I'm running out of space quite quickly. So if I just give you a little check, let's go to today. This is today. Today hasn't happened. I was too tired yesterday to finish off my planning. This week is slowly killing me. So the fact that I'm upright and talking, I feel is a miracle. So actually, filling in all the details, maybe not. This layout is working fantastically well. Okay. It's just wonderful. So if I go back to the start of the week, this is my overview of the week, events that are going on, following my colour coding system, which is working really well, by the way. Little note down the side that spans the whole week. I started tracking this week. Tracking has not seemed important whatsoever. There is so much going on that just making it through the day, recording a list of what I want to get done is the most important thing to do. So, on my timeline, the times down the middle, those are the things that's the same timeline that's in the Passion Planner. And that gives me a reference for everything that's going on. I plan the timeline down that side, what am I doing when. This is working really, really well, trying to record just what's going on at work. To-dos, and then a little space for journaling as well. Oh, don't know what that is. And then I've been recording my verse of the day at the bottom, just because I quite like that idea. And then, as you see, little stick in. This was from my Jojo Mimi post that arrived yesterday. I was going to do some journaling underneath. That's as far as I got. And today is today. I'm here, I'm talking, I'm having a break from work. That's enough, to be honest. So this is working, even though I haven't done today. I've been doing my scripture writing in here. Loving the way this is turning out. One thing I've tried this month is wherever something isn't specific to just general life, like a general collection, if it's specific to that month, I'm trying to keep the same sort of colour scheme, washi decoration, just keep it kind of cohesive throughout, and I quite like it. Really like the way it's working. So yeah, that's my scripture writing. I've been again doing a little bit of note taking on sort of Bible study ideas to use on my faith planner. Got some work notes going on. Love the tabs. And then, nope, not that one. That one. I started doing a layout spread idea for reviewing One Book July. What I liked, what I didn't like. Next week. What I like this week. I like the fact that I used one book. What I didn't like is that I'm running out of space in that one book. Next week, I have a different book. By the time I'd done all of this and some other things, I realised I was up to page 83 in a 121 page notebook. I've used approximately 30 odd pages in the past week. So I decided, as you will have noticed from Instagram, to get a new bullet journal. We've only had the first week of July. It meant I could still have most of the month in one book without getting too disorganised, too discombobulated. I thought about trying to see out work in this one, and then we started summer holidays, starting a new one. I knew that wasn't going to happen with the space. So I've got a new bullet journal that I'm going to give you a quick show of. I haven't finished setting everything up in it. I've just kind of prioritised getting my weekly, my daily done, so it's usable for me. And then when I've got a bit more time, after the hecticness of the next 7 days, I might be able to sit down and finish it off. So, my new bullet journal is this lovely notebook here. This is a Nuna notebook. Now, I had a Nuna notebook last summer. I really liked it, but felt it was too bulky to carry around. That was before I got an Erin Condren planner. And this is actually quite small in comparison to an Erin Condren, so I don't know what I was moaning about. But anyway, one thing I really liked about this is that I can fit the same timeline I've got in my B5 into here, because the squares are smaller, and still have space to do the same spread. And it is closer to an A5 size, so it is smaller than the B5. It is thicker than the B5, so I can fit more into it. And the cover is lovely. I just really liked it. I'm a work in progress. Part of this month is about reviewing what I'm doing, getting everything back to being functional for me, and so this really, really jumped out. I found a Nuna last summer. I just have to show you this because of this lovely notebook here, which if I open up the front page, I mean, we all know why I picked that. It's orange. It was lovely. Even the dots were orange on the paper, but it was too bulky and I didn't see it out. So I've done a little bit of brief setup in here, just to give you a little bit of a show of what I've done. So I've got my index set up. I haven't filled it out yet. I haven't even numbered the pages yet, because there is no index, there are no bookmarks, there are no page numbers in this one. It's just a dot grid notebook. So we'll get around to all that. I've done nothing in those pages. A really loose future log. I'm not going to do monthly calendars or anything. I'm just going to note things down when they crop up. And I like the idea of the notes at the bottom. I can't remember where I saw this layout idea. I can't remember if it was YouTube or Instagram. Someone somewhere has done a layout like this and I really liked it, so I've borrowed that idea, and I'm really sorry that I can't remember who it was. I might find out and put it in the description below. I was starting to do a watch list and a reading list, but I didn't like what happened with the pen up here, so I've used my lovely new Tipp-Ex pens. They're not actually Tipp-Ex, but they're clickable. And I've gone over, got rid of it, and I'll come back to that later. So we've got monthly. Now this I have loosely based on Boudreaux Boosted's monthly layout, we've got a breakdown of each of the weeks and what's going on in each week. So you can have a smaller monthly and you can kind of icon what's going on and link it to the week, which I really liked. Something about it really appealed. And part of me also wanted to try and do something for my life planned out. So blog posts, YouTube videos, starting to think about planning it all out a little bit more than I am at the moment, which is kind of just when I feel like doing it, if I'm honest. But I'm really enjoying the process of sharing everything on YouTube now, particularly. So I'm going to try and plan it out a little bit more and see how I get on with that. So this I started. Part of me couldn't bear being in this notebook missing the first week of the month. So I did a weekly overview and I've done a little bit of space so that when I've got some time I can go back and just jot down a few things of what happened during the week, because just so it's there as a record, it's all together. July is in one place, even though it's not, it is, if that makes sense. Here I did actually do a little bit of a review, which I'm going to come back to in a minute. There's a bit of a clue on there as to what's happening. And then this is my setup for next week. So done a simple overview. This is one thing I really like about the dots. The dots are smaller. There are a lot more of them. There are 56 dots from top to bottom, meaning you have a really nice full view of the week and a nice header. And I actually used a ruler for this. I never use rulers for my spreads, but I really like the fact that it's there on one page. So again, tracking, just like in the other one, a little bit more space for it. I'm not using stickers at the moment in this. The idea of stickers in a bullet journal to me still seems a bit bizarre, but I am going to try them. For anyone that's looked at What's New Wednesday this week for Ellie Beth Designs, the new functional kits I really like. I've bought lots to try in lots of different planners, and I'm going to try a set in my bullet journal, which scares me, but that's fine. We're all game for giving things a go. So I'll see how I get on with stickers and that when they turn up, and I'm probably going to do that at some point over the summer holidays, so not in July. So yeah, so that's my tracking and my overview of the week. Haven't got a lot in there at the moment, just a few notes, haven't added any work stuff in. It's crazy, there's so many things going on that I'm probably just going to leave for the dailies, to be honest. My daily, I've kind of done the same as I did last time, so I've got the same timeline down the middle, 6 to 10:30, like in the Passion Planner, space on this side to do plan for the day, what I'm doing when, my tasks, and then I've got a nice big gap at the bottom where I can do verse the day or journaling or both, which I really quite like. Having gone through and started setting things up, it is bugging me that I didn't use a ruler for these, but I did for that. I need to be a bit more consistent because I don't think I like it very much at the moment. So that's what I've just done. I've just gone through for this week and see, hopefully I'll be able to do it next weekend. Just on my timeline and a simple header, and that's all I've done so far. But everything was going in here. So my intention is to just carry around this. Now, if I can find it. There we go. So, I did a bit of a review. Bullet journal, really successful. I'm running out of space. I've started to set up my new one. In my new one, I've removed my scripture writing. Keeping my verse of the day, but the scripture writing I've taken out. My Erin Condren I'm using predominantly for work. I've not been using tracking. My to-do lists have been sporadic, so there's kind of not a huge amount of point in using this other than as a reference and future planning tool. So, next week I'm going to try just using my bullet journal. I can't help but keep looking back at the cover, it's wonderful. I don't know if I said this as well, but look at the pattern. The pattern goes all the way around the pages. I think that's just super clever. Anyway, I get distracted. Yeah, next week I'm going to try using my bullet journal only. Maybe leave my Erin Condren at work, maybe leave it on my desk at home as a reference, but I'm not going to carry it around with me every day. It will be just this that goes everywhere with me. And I'm going to start using my faith planner. Now, so I'm not really going back to, I'm not going to one book for One Book July. I'm still doing 2 books. This is going to be my main book. This is going to have everything in it apart from the faith side of things. So my scripture writing is coming out of it. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek. This is very OTT, I think. Probably recognising it a little bit. This, as you can tell, is a large planner. I do like large planners. It's a happy planner. And when I saw this cover and this message, I couldn't help but just fall in love with it. There is something about this that at the moment really sticks with me. I think that, combined with the message on the cover of my bullet journal, is really going to have some powerful things going on in my head a lot of the time. I instantly feel a lot more positive, bizarrely, getting all of this together. Plus, I don't know if you can tell, this is all orange. It's the little things, So, that's my planner, my faith planner. It's a large, happy planner. It's not the faith one. The faith one is a small one. If I show you July briefly... Here we go. Overview of a devotion I found that I'm going to track through the months. A little bit of scripture writing, back scripture writing, a little bit of verse of the day, a little bit of setting up for scripture writing. That's about as far as I've got at the moment. I just know that having the cover as well means I can keep everything together, and I've already put in some tip-ins from Illustrated Faith in there as well. I think they're from the Delight in His Day. I'll say that again. I think they're from the Delight in His Day collection. I'm not quite sure. I'll check that. And I've just printed out a devotional to go in here. I am going to do a video on this at some point, but that is going to be just for my faith stuff. So, quick review. This is my one book that I'm going to be using next week. One book I'm going to be using for next week as part of a one book July, and I'm going to see if I can carry on for the rest of the month just using this one book and my faith planner. That's what I wanted to say. I'm getting my words in a muddle. It's Friday night. I've had a long week. It's perfectly acceptable. So, I'm going to leave that there for us all just to look at and take a think, because I think this is applicable to everybody and will give us a good chunk of things to think about for the week ahead. So I hope everyone else's one book Julys are going well, that you're making the changes you want to make, that you're making it work for you, and that everyone has had a good week like I have. I feel so much more positive this week, I really do. Anyway, next weekend I will try and pop back and give another bit of an update. Hopefully we'll have all of this set up properly by then, and we'll be counting down the last few days until the summer holidays, which will make me so happy. Have a good week, everyone, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.